Now, to discuss this, we are joined by legal practitioner and public affairs analyst Tunji Abdulhameed. Tunji, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon once again.
It's my pleasure to be with you.
Great. So, Tunji, the Federal Capital Territory Minister stepped in, the court stepped in, and now the President has stepped in. Now, how significant is President Tinubu's call for respecting judicial interpretations of the Constitution in resolving the political crisis in the Niger Delta region?
I think it's not correct to say the FCT Minister is stepping in. He's not stepping in. He's only taking side with the House of Assembly member, and we all know where he belongs, even before now anyway. The President has said the right thing. That is the right thing to do. For all in a country that is ruled by democracy or where rule of law prevails, everybody must respect the rule of law. And what the President has said is regarding the respect for rule of law is correct and is the way to go. Without respect for rule of law, our country will not move forward. But I want to say that, look, as far as I'm concerned, the governor of Rivers State has not shown any disrespect to rule of law. He has from the day the Supreme Court delivered his judgment, confirmed that he's ready to abide by the judgment of the Supreme Court. I think I see a blackmail here of the governor of Rivers State by the assembly member and by FCT minister. There's nowhere in our law where it is stated that the House of Assembly have the power. They have the power to command the governor as to when to bring budget to them. Yes, the Supreme Court said this issue, two major issues in the Supreme Court judgment. Local government was declared null and void, election was declared null and void. Secondly, they say, look, the budget you presented to the 27 lawmakers are not proper. Go and represent it to them. Those are the judgments. The local government election chairman have been dissolved, and he said, look, I will be ready to also present my budget once I obtain the CTC. So where is the disobedience to the rule of law here? There was nothing in that Supreme Court judgment that says the governor, this budget must be represented within 24 hours, must be represented within 48 hours, must be represented within a week. So where does the House of Assembly derive the power to command the governor as to when to bring the budget? So it's a blackmail to say the government is not ready to abide by the rule of law. The president is saying so, and I listened to all the word the president said. There is nowhere in that statement made by the president where he condemned the House of Assembly, where he made mention of Wike. Everything was directed at the governor, as if the governor alone was one involved in the crisis. The House of Assembly has given unnecessary ultimatum that's not backed by law. The president did not say anything about that. Say, look, allow him to work out his program. He has promised to bring the budget before you. Give Peace a chance. Allow him. He will communicate to you. The president does not say anything in that manner. He just say go and comply with the rule of law. What is the rule of law that is complying with here? So budget. Did he say he will not comply with it? You see, what people are thinking is that as soon as the Supreme Court say we present the budget, we'll just go back to his house, dust the previous budget and the one submitted earlier on and take it back to them. No, there must be amendment in those projects. They must rework it.
So, Tunji, I noted that you said that there seems to be some sort of imbalance between the president's response. Okay, Tunji, we're having some network issues. Apologies there. But I was going to ask regarding your note there where you talked about the sort of imbalance when it comes to the president's response to the parties involved here. And I want to ask you on the side here, how would you compare that to his response or lack of response regarding the Lagos State issue when you compare it to the River State instance and his, well, more than verbatim approach?
It's unfortunate and it shows the double standard of the president. The president in a state where he is considered as the leader of the party, there has been crisis in that state. In fact, this crisis still continues. The president has not said a word regarding those crises. He hasn't said anything. He was quick to call them in River State, come and settle, and he was quick to tell them, go and obey the rule of law.
Why do you think this is so? Why do you think this is so? Why do you think he was quick to respond when it comes to the River State instance?
Because the president has taken side. It's clear. The president is siding the House of Assembly and Minister Wike. And that's why he didn't say anything about them. He wants the governor to deliver the state to Minister Wike. That's just it. That is the game plan. The game plan is that they want the governor to be subservient to Minister Wike so that they'll be able to achieve what they want to achieve. And it's not possible. When Governor Wike was in charge as a governor, all this thing is Mr. Wike is talking about. Nobody dare say all those things to him. Nobody dare say challenge his authority. Nobody, whether you are a member of our assembly or wherever you are, even as a rep member, you will detain a House of member that they had said I want to contest for governors. He was detained by Minister Wike. So we have people who are not sincere whenever they make position and think they will talk as if they were trying to create peace. No, they are not creating any peace. They are trying to work their way in so as to take over the state from the governor.
So in terms of trying to create peace now, what role do you see the Pan Niger Delta Forum playing in fostering peace and stability in that region?
Yeah, they are doing their best. I think that's what they need to do. For me, there's no job to be done here because there's no job. We are just creating issue out of no issue. We are creating a Monte out of a mo. Because the governor has not said I will not obey the law, the Supreme Court judgment. He said I will respect it, I will obey it. So what is the peace that's not here now? Where has he gone wrong to say the governor is not allowing peace to reign? Where? There's no peace to be created. In other words, the only where there will be no peace is when those assembly members attempt to impeach the governor. And in any event, they cannot ordinarily impeach the governor. The impeachment of a governor cannot be done by a member of House Assembly alone. There must be involvement of chief judge of the state. If there is no binding of the chief judge of the state, that impeachment will not work. So it is not a sole responsibility of the House of Assembly member to impeach the governor. So threatening the governor with impeachment is not their sole right to do. So it may not work. So what people are saying is that, look, if you dare illegally impeach the governor, there will be no peace. So what I expect the president to say is that, look, allow the governor to work. Stop. Don't initiate anything that will create crisis in the state. I expect him to say that to the House of Assembly member. He didn't say so. He was just lambasting. He was just talking to the governor as if the governor alone was one involved in the fight. This fight is about two people. We know the governor side and the Governor Wike and the other member side. The only area where the president was able to attack are those of the governor. So and it shows the hypocrisy in quote of the people who have in leadership. The similar situation is happening in Lagos State. We are not hearing anything for the president. It's unfortunate.
So noted, you talked about the president, the governor, the ex-governor, and also we've talked about the Niger Delta Forum. But what about the role of the judiciary when it comes to fostering peace and maintaining peace? What role do they play?
They play their own role by giving their judgment, even though... And
do you think the judgment so far has been fair? Do you think that judgment has been fair?
Yes, you see, the point is this. I have my reservation with the judgment, and I think the judgment is not fair to the people of Rivers State. It's unfair. You cannot punish the entire state for the wrong of the governor if I thought there's a wrong. You cannot punish them. You have the fact that the Supreme Court said this allocation should be withheld is a punishment against all this, the entire state, not the governor. So for me, in that regard, I have my reservation in that regard. You see, Supreme Court judgment, no matter how wrong, how well you think is not right or is wrong, you must respect it, you must obey it. So you have no choice. So and that is why I say it must be respected. So and I'm also surprised that the Supreme Court is said to be a court of policy. Then here they are not applying the policy. They should be able to know that look, this kind of a judgment can create crisis in the state. But they didn't look at it. They were looking at the law as it is. Because I know this even though it's not been determined, the legality of these 27 members of the House Assembly, regarding their defection, has not been determined by the court. But they indirectly, for me, from what I've read it from judgment, the Supreme Court has indirectly laid the foundation to say that they've not decamped. Because they've laid that foundation in that earlier judgment. So that they will say, so if they come out and say they've not decamped, I will not be surprised. Because they've laid that foundation. And I think as a policy court, they need to not only look at the law, look at other areas that these are the people who have shown clearly on media that they have decamped. They even swore to an affidavit. What more can they do to decamp? And the Supreme Court is saying, look, you cannot decamp except you enter House of Assembly to say, I have decamped. So for me, I have my reservation, but there's no way. But once it's made, a judgment is made by the Supreme Court, whether rightly or wrongly, we must obey it and we must respect it.
Mr. Tunji Abdulhameed, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon to give us your opinion on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.